Hey, what's going on, family? It's King Leon, that's the Human Liberator. This is episode 66. Episode 66 of Take Charge of Your Life. Take Charge of Your Life is our midday self-mastery, self-motivation series, Monday through Friday at 12 noon Eastern. Today is March 3rd, 2017, and we are still talking about goals. Alright, we're talking about goals. We must have those goals. We must have those long-term, short-term, clear, specific goals. Right? This is episode 66 of Take Charge of Your Life. And we're talking about how to achieve any goal. Alright? Take charge of your life. When I say something that resonates with you in the series, you want to make sure that you type "make the choice." Right, in the comments, you want to type "make the choice," because when you type "make the choice," that's committing to yourself that you understand that you're in control of your smiles and tears, that you're understanding and you're committing to yourself that you have the power and you're in control of your destiny, and that you understand the real choice, which is to take possession of our mind, direct it to the ends that we desire, or not. Right, so again, by setting goals, it's going to help us fully realize our maximum potential. It's going to give us more direction and more purpose in life. It's going to have us increase our decision-making capability. It's going to make us more effective and more organized. It's going to allow us to do more for ourselves and for others. Right, when we're talking about goals, people don't want to really talk about goals and say, grab your list of goals, because it's hard work. Goal setting is probably some of the hardest work that you can do, right? Taking the time to actually sit back and declare what it is that you want in your business, in your finances, in your relationships, in your charity and legacy, in your spirituality, in your health. What clearly do you want to experience? What do you want to have? By when do you want to have these things? What does it look like? What does it feel like, right? By setting goals, it's going to make us feel more fulfilled, and it's going to help us accomplish more some uncommon projects. Most people, when we operate in our memory, instead of our imagination, then everything that we're basing our future on is projected off things that we've already done in the past. But when we study successful people, then we know that even in the that they understand their memory, but then they're using their imagination or projecting out their imagination to decide where they want to go in the future, because they know that someone's opinion of them does not have to be their reality. And so when we continue and learn to set goals, we're going to have a greater confidence in ourselves and increased self-worth. So yesterday we were talking about the difference between being interested and committed, right? Some people, like, when you're interested, and you're not going to necessarily do what it takes. You're only going to do what makes you comfortable. You're only going to do what's easy, and you're going to do what's convenient, just like everyone else. But when you make the choice, and when you become committed, you make the decision, then you're going to learn. You're going to make a decision. You're going to learn as much as you need to learn. You're going to drill as much as you need to drill. You're going to need to practice as much as you need to practice. You're going to rehearse as much as you need to rehearse, because you know that in order to win, you have to do what needs to be done. There's no blaming and there's no excuses at the bottom line. And so when you're committed, you're able to summon all attention, all willpower, and focus towards the attainment of a definite purpose. We know that hope is not a good strategy, right? And so yesterday we also covered the first part of the pyramid. We're talking about our goals, and then strategies, tactics, and processes. Again, when we're talking about setting goals, business, relationship goals, legacy, health, financial, spiritual, it's a holistic perspective. When we're talking about dramatic life change, we're talking about clearly deciding who we are, where we want to go, what do we want to have. We got to get clear. Other people might not see it, but we have to see it for ourselves before anyone else can see it. So besides, once you have your clear goals, yesterday we also talked about the strategies, tactics, and processes. The strategies is what to do, the tactics is how to do it, and the processes is the systems in which to follow daily, right? Those are the things that we covered so far this week, and what we're talking about now is the daily routine. We're talking about the daily rituals of thinking and focusing on your goal, right? That's the habits. We are slave to habits, right? Man is a byproduct of accumulated habits, right? Your memory that we were speaking of is just accumulated habits. Your habitual thought patterns and belief system going to determine the direction of how your life turns out. So our habits, I'm going to go through these points because when we talk about our habits, when it comes to goal setting and goal achievement, and then once we're clear about our goals, we develop the strategies, we develop the processes, and the tactics, which are ultimately going to turn into habits, constructive habits that are going to lead us to our goal. Right now, we have strategies, tactics, and processes that we're unconsciously engaging in that we can't tell whether it's getting us closer to where we want to go or whether it's taking us further away, because most people haven't clearly decided where they headed in the first place. So once you decide where you want to head in the first place, and once you know what you want to do and how you're going to do it, and once we're talking about developing the systems to follow daily, one of the habits that a lot of successful people have, since when it comes to clarity of goals, they take that 10 minutes in the morning and write their goals out again, right? They write their goals every morning, right? They make a habit of writing their goals down either multiple times a day, 3 times a week, right? Every morning, every night, but they look at them every day. They always constantly remind themselves, right? I read the book Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill, which I have yet to do this, but probably I'm most likely going to start doing it. But he had wrote his goals on an index card, right? And then he just keep it in his pocket and he just read it like 12 times a day, right? And so what that does, if you know anything about vibration and frequency, what that does is get your mind and your subconscious and your belief system in tune and in harmony. You get the vibratory rate of your body, the genetic, like the essence of your being completely in line, your subconscious in line with manifesting this idea into a physical thing. So we don't have to worry about the how too much if we want to really, that's why they say work smarter and not harder, is because there's more power here and here to create and manifest what's on the outer world than it is just dealing with things in the realm of the outer world. So that's the power of looking at your goals every day. But also we want to get out of the habit, because we know that good habits are the key to all success. Bad habits are the unlocked door to failure, right? The difference between those who succeed and fail lies in the difference of their habits. Good habits are the key to all success. Bad habits are the unlocked door to failure, right? So therefore, if we must be slave to habits, we must be slave to good habits, right? Let's bathe ourselves in good habits so that the bad ones may drown. Failure is a few errors in judgment repeated daily. When you repeat those errors in judgment daily, then you make a habit of a few errors in judgment. A few errors in judgment repeated daily is failure, right? A few simple disciplines executed daily is what success is, you see. And so it's all lies in the difference of the habits. So we want to get out of the habit of being ourselves, basically, because our self-talk and our self-image that we've been programmed with our whole entire life is not conducive and is not going to give us the self-confidence that's necessary in order for us to be bold enough to execute on the true things of our highest desires and our chief aims, right? So we have to break the habit of being ourselves. We have to break the habit of self-doubt. We have to break the habit of procrastination. We have to break the habit of blame. We have to break the habit of making excuses. And the only way to do that and the only way to break free of these is to understand what is happening to us. You could tell yourself all day that you're going to do this tomorrow, and then you wake up and you don't do shit. You don't do any of it. You don't do any of the things that you just said that you was going to do, right? Because it's what's really happening is the self-talk and your self-image. Like I said, we're creatures of habit, right? So you think that you're in control You might be able to invoke certain emotions, but when it comes down to what you habitually do on a daily basis, is rooted in the depths of your belief system, in your muscle memory. And so, how do we begin to get out of the habit loop and think and behave differently? Right? We have to understand that with each habit, it's how habit works. It's a trigger, routine, and a reward. Right? A trigger, routine, and a reward. This is where a habit. This is what a habit is. Right? Something triggers, right? Then you go through this routine. The routine that you're going through is for this feeling. So let's say someone who smokes, for example, right? The trigger for wanting to smoke would be, I don't know, after they get done eating, right? After they get done eating, they want to smoke. They get done eating, they want to smoke. The trigger is the feeling after they get done eating. The routine is rolling up or smoking whatever they want to smoke. And the reward is that feeling and that satisfaction and gratification of that. And then that's a habit. Right? And so what we want to do when we want to change to constructive habits, if we want to deliberately change our habits, what people have to understand in order to get out of the habit loop and to break free, you have to identify the trigger and change the routine. Right? The triggers are always going to be the same. So, for example, after I get done eating, I get done eating. That's the trigger, right? That feeling. The routine would be smoking, right? But since I'm doing neuro-linguistic programming, since I'm understanding the neurological science behind maximum achievement and massive life change, then I understand that I could use a trigger and then change the routine and still experience the reward. So the trigger was I just got done eating. I normally would want to smoke, all right, to get this reward and this feeling that I get for gratification. Instead, I just get done eating and then boom, that trigger now it just makes me do push-ups, right? So now I get down and do 10 push-ups or 15 push-ups. Right? So I use that same trigger, change the routine, and then I also still get a reward. I get a more constructive reward, right? I get a reward of feeling how you feel. Everyone feels better after they drop down and do some push-ups. Everyone, right? So just as simple as that process of identifying the trigger, changing the routine, still getting a reward. This is how we slowly but surely change our habits. This is how we slowly but surely become the type of person that we have to be in order to achieve all of our goals. Because it's pointless to know exactly what you want to do in business, what you want to have and see in your relationships, in your health and finances, and your spirituality and your legacy, if you're not willing to put in the necessary man hours or the woman hours, the king hours or the queen hours, the self-discipline to develop the self-discipline to overcome all of the things and all of the obstacles and all of the self-imposed limitations that you have to do. Like, it's pointless to get clear. That's why most people, only 3% of people have long-term, short-term written goals. That's why only 3% of people, if I be like, yo, go grab your list of goals, they'd be like, yeah, all right, I got them right here. Right? Everyone's going to be like, yeah, I got goals, but they're up here. They're up here. Right? They're up here. And when they're up here, then anything, you know how much stuff is up here? 60,000 thoughts a day for the common person, right? The common millionaire has 30,000 thoughts. Why? Because no matter what, he can always direct his mind towards his definite purpose or to his goal, to his long-term goal. So regardless, it's easier for him to make decisions because it's like, hey, is it going to get me closer to this, or is it not? Right? But, you feel me? Just like people who say that they have... Wait, let me not even get off topic. All right? we're going to stay on goals. We're going to stay on habits. We're going to stay on the daily rituals of thinking and focusing on your goals, right? Once we understand our goals and then we identify the strategies, tactics, and processes, right? And so we could design our life to do the right thing every day. So sometimes we, once we get a clear, defined, set objective on each area of our life, and we got clearly defined objectives and missions and coherent plans to achieve all of these things, which come a size too big so that we have to grow into them, then and we could begin with the end in mind and then draw back and realize, okay, in order to get here, then what do I have to do today? Who do I have to become to have these things, right? And then from that, we could decide what we could be doing on a 15-minute basis, right? 15 minutes to 15 minutes, right, to get there. But most people work harder on their job than they do on themselves. Most people work harder on their job than they do on their futures. Most people work harder on their jobs than they do actually seeking financial independence. Right? Most people work harder on their jobs than they do on learning how to break free. Most people work harder on their jobs than they do on their spirituality. Most people work harder on their jobs than they do on their health. Most people work harder on their jobs than they do on their social contribution. Most people work harder on their jobs than they do building relationships with their children. Most people work harder on their jobs than building a relationship with themselves, you see? And so you could do that because everyone else is doing it. You could do that. I promise you could do that. 97% of people in the world do that. 97% of America is wandering generalities. 97%. You feel me? No one has long-term, clear, specific, measurable goals. Only 3%. Only 3% of the people are producers. Everyone else is a consumer. Everyone else just buys, and everyone else just is being prodded by a shepherd. Okay, well, I'm not a sheep waiting to be prodded by a shepherd. All right, I'm a lion, and I refuse to walk. I refuse to talk. I refuse to sleep with the sheep. You feel me? I will hear not those who weep and complain, for their disease is contagious. The slaughterhouse of failure is not my destiny. Okay, so listen. So it's about understanding who we are, always being true to where we are, realizing that we control our smiles and tears. We are our belief systems, which control our thoughts, which become our words, which become our decisions, which become our actions, which become our habits, which become our character, which become our destiny, right? So we talk about habits right now, right? But what precedes habit is your beliefs, thoughts, actions, and decisions, right? And so you could tell yourself you want to do something all day, like you tell yourself all the time, but how come you never do it? You never do it because just because you're telling yourself that you're going to do it doesn't mean you're going to do it. It's just making you feel good at that moment, right? It's like a self-high drug. We're confusing ourselves. We're living in these illusions when we're not, which is cool because this whole thing is an illusion, but we're not really, we giving our power away. We giving our power away by not being clear about what it is that we ultimately really do want. If I say something that resonates with you, this is episode 66, you have to type make the choice in the comments, right? You have to take make the choice because, listen, we're taking possession of our mind. We're directing it to the ends that we desire, right? I'm taking possession of my mind, and I'm directing it to the ends that I desire in my business. I take possession of my mind, and I direct it to the ends that I desire in my relationships. I take possession of my mind, direct it to the ends that I desire in my legacy. You feel me? In my charity, in my health, in my finance, in my spiritual life. You feel me? Sound health, family, peace of mind, freedom from fear, freedom from worry, a labor of love. Hope for future achievement, willingness to share one's blessings with others, right? Wisdom to understand people, open mind towards all subjects and all people, the building and the development of complete self-discipline. Family, I know how far I came. You feel me? I know the valleys. I understand the difference between valleys and mountaintops. And I must have a valley to appreciate the mountaintop. I must have night to appreciate the day. I must fail often to only succeed once. You see, but I know that no matter how hard it is and no matter how bad it gets, I'm gonna make it. And I made that decision a long time ago. I made that commitment a long time ago. I made the choice a long time ago. And I'm trying to tell you from personal experience that when you make the choice and when you get clear, then you're gonna start experiencing a more fulfilled life. You're gonna have once you take your power back, and you understand the value of your story, then you can live your goals and your dreams. This social media is just social media. I'm talking about real life relationship building. I'm talking about real life impact. I'm talking about real life experiences, traveling the world. I'm talking about experiencing the things that you want to experience with your loved ones and with yourself, and going where you want to go and making what you want to make and having what you want to have and doing what you want to do. Why? Because it's your birthright. Why? Because it's your birthright. Abundance is your birthright. You feel me? You deserve the best life has to offer, but you're only going to get what you believe that you deserve. You feel me? So I'm not here to settle for nothing except for the best that life has to offer. You feel me? If it's not my best, then I'm always striving for my best 100% of the time. We talk about going the extra mile, right? Sometimes I might not show up, and sometimes I might not get 100%. Sometimes I might not show up. You feel me? Sometimes I might be late. Sometimes, you feel me? I might oversleep. Sometimes I might goddamn say fuck it. Sometimes I might lose my mental attitude. Sometimes I might lose my temper. You feel me? Sometimes I might drop the ball. Sometimes I might go on a long on poor investment. You feel me? Sometimes I might do all of these things, but who cares? I'm not gonna quit. I'm not gonna quit. You feel me? Because I made the choice and I believe in what I'm doing, right? And therefore, if I believe in what I'm doing, I made the choice and I understand this is all a part of the process. You feel me? And there's no outside to it. So when we're talking about daily rituals of thinking and focusing on your goals, you have to break the habit of being yourself. Your habit and willpower. Replace the routine to change the habit, like we were saying. Trigger, routine, rewards. Remember this. Never forget it. Trigger, routine, reward. This is what habit. This is the process of habit, right? You got a trigger, you got a routine, you got a reward, right? Recognize the trigger, change the routine to change the habit. Okay, it's about being aware of the routine, just like you're aware that you're in your body. Like you're not a human because you're aware of humans. You're not your mind because you're aware of your mind. You're not your soul because you're aware of your soul. You're aware that you have a soul. Matter of fact, you're aware that you're aware that you have a soul. You're aware that you're aware that you're in a mind. You're aware that you're aware that you have habits. You feel me? You're aware. You're conscious that you're aware that you have habits. Matter of fact, you're aware that you have awareness. You see? So stop limiting yourself to these physical things that you see. You feel me? Because this is nothing but a result. But listen, check this out. You are aware that you're aware that you're aware that you're watching me right now. So who is that? Is that your flesh that's aware of that? Is that your soul that's aware of that? What is that? No, it's just awareness. It is the all. There's no outside to it. So listen. So when it becomes to that, then we could be aware of our routines and our daily rituals, right? And because we realize that since we're creatures of habit, we're gonna get more of the same, right? So if we keep on doing what we're doing, we're gonna keep on getting what we're getting. So is the type of person that you're becoming, the type of person that is going to have all your goals and dreams. You feel me? Like, because success is something that you attract by the person you become. What you become is better than what you get, family. Don't let your past or your present dictate your goal setting. You feel me? Set goals that scare you. Set goals that come. Listen, y'all see the documentation. I'm out right now in one of my people's cribs. But y'all see when I show y'all my notebooks from 2012 and 2011 or 2012, really, when I started diving into this information. This book I'm teaching out of this is February 2013 but Success and Self-Help, the permanent marker. They don't even seem that permanent no more. You feel me? Over the years, right? But listen, these is all strategies and processes that we could all consider, that we could all implement today. These are all concepts that we could consider today that will measurably increase the quality of our life. This is the only thing I'll talk about in Take Charge of Your Life series. I'm not going to take you nowhere esoteric. I'm not going to take you nowhere where you can't manifest or bring it to today. If you can't apply it today, then I ain't talking about it. You see, if you can apply it today and to change and use your willpower to change the direction today, you feel me? Because, like, and check this out. You don't have to make that big of a change or that big of a difference. You see, like, all you have to do, like, listen, like, if we're both going here, if these are going straight, and I just turn this little bit away, like, this is going, like, no matter how far, like, it's gone now, right? All I did was just change it this much. All I did was change the direction this much, and now all I did was just change it this much. And then now it's going to a completely different area, right? Listen, that's all. It's the same with us, right? Oftentimes, it's like like y'all know how combination locks work, right? Oftentimes we have we got the code already. You feel me? We're just missing one. And a lot of things that people are missing is just the science of personal achievement. They're missing that. Like, they don't necessarily understand how to turn their definite major life aim into its financial equivalent, nor do they have hopes to do that, nor are they actively seeking to do that, nor do they even know that they can possibly do that in the first place. But if you know that you could turn your definite chief aim and what you think about most of the time into money, into its financial equivalent, if you know that you could turn what you could do 7 days a week that doesn't feel like work into money machines and the manifestation of all your goals, dreams, desires, and all of your solutions, then why wouldn't you engage in that process? You feel me? If you're not on that plan, then someone sold you on the wrong plan. This is what I'm saying. And this, like, I'm not here to preach to no one. I'm just here to express the things that I've come to learn, you feel me, on my short 27 years, on earth. Right? But I know exactly where I'm headed. I know exactly where I'm going. And I understand my constructive habits that I've implemented and the destructive habits that I've overcame. And I'm also aware of my current destructive habits and my current self-imposed limitations that stand in the way of my success. You see me? But there's nothing outside of myself that's the problem. You feel me? There's nothing that's outside of myself that's the problem. You see? And as I become more aware of how to get beside myself and achieve my heart's desires, you feel me? But that's the process. That's the beauty of it. Because achieve what? Because that is me. All of my goals, all of my dreams, they already exist in the energy form. Hold on. How long I've been? Okay. Damn, I'll be giving y'all 30 minutes. I'm only supposed to be giving y'all 15. But all my goals and dreams already exist in energy form, family. Yours too. We can do this. You feel me? We can evolve. Someone's opinion of us doesn't have to be our reality. You feel me? We can take it to the next level. We got the power. You feel me? The power is ours. Y'all know that, right? The power is yours. Like, you got the power. Like, we can do it. You feel me? You got unlimited power at your disposal. Like, figure out what that means to you. You feel me? This is episode 66. I've been giving y'all the funk on a consistent daily basis, Monday through Friday, for almost, 13 weeks? Come on. I ain't never stopping. It's King Leon X. These videos ain't for everybody. You feel me? These videos ain't for everybody. The people that's tuned in, they the ones who's getting the seeds planted on it. Everything else is in the airways. You know what I'm talking about. But I know where I'm headed. Y'all stay grateful, fam.